Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting and mysterious stories in modern coin collecting. It centers around the 1979 D Washington quarter, a coin that millions of people used every day, tossed into gum machines, pay phones, parking meters, and pockets without ever imagining that one rare example would one day be at the center of a legendary collector valuation reaching an incredible $1.7 million. Yes, a simple Denver minted quarter from 1979 has become one of the most talked about modern treasures in numismatic circles. But let's rewind the clock and look at the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. For decades, the coin remained a familiar part of American life. But by the late 1970s, the United States Mint was undergoing major changes. Technology was advancing, minting speeds increased, and with more demand, the Denver Mint was pushing its presses faster than ever. When minting runs reach this level of intensity, unusual things can happen. Dies wear unevenly, presses misalign, planchets slip in at the wrong moment. And once in a great while, something extraordinary comes out. The 1979 D quarter is not rare in general. Hundreds of millions were produced. But that's what makes the legendary $1 million specimen so fascinating. Among countless ordinary coins, one example reportedly displayed such dramatic differences, such astonishing sharpness, and such unusual minting characteristics that private collectors began valuing it at numbers few believed a modern quarter could ever reach. The story goes that the coin was discovered in a small personal collection where it had been sitting for years unnoticed. Its owner originally kept it because it just looked different. When experts finally examined it, they were stunned. The coin showed an unusually powerful strike, razor-sharp details, and surfaces so clean they looked nearly untouched. Even more intriguing, subtle features on the coin hinted at a possible minting anomaly. Whether it was an experimental planchet, an early die strike, or a perfect storm of minting conditions, the coin did not look like a typical 1979 D quarter. Word spread quickly. Professional graders confirmed its exceptional preservation, and collectors began debating its origins. Some high-end private collectors, the type who treat rare coins like fine art, reportedly placed its value at an astonishing $1.7 million. Not because of silver, not because of age, but because of its absolute uniqueness. A once-in-a-lifetime minting result combined with a nearly flawless condition. And that is what makes this story so powerful. It proves that treasure can be hiding in the most ordinary places. The 1979 D quarter is not known for special varieties. It is not known for rare mint errors. But that is exactly why the legendary example is so captivating. It reminds everyone that even a modern coin with no famous history can still become a prized masterpiece when the right combination of rarity, error, condition, and timing comes together. Now here's where it gets exciting for you. Even though the $1.7 million specimen is unique, there are still valuable 1979 D quarters out there. Coins with strong strikes, dramatic mint errors, off-center hits, clipped planchets, or unusually well-preserved details can bring significant value. Some sell for hundreds. Some reach the thousands. And collectors are constantly searching for new, undiscovered varieties. What should you look for? Start with condition. Most 1979 D quarters are beaten up from decades of circulation. If you find one with brilliant luster and no signs of wear, hold on to it. Look closely at the lettering for doubling. Check the rim for extra thickness or strange notches. Examine Washington's portrait for distortions or unusually deep details. And always keep an eye out for off-center strikes or wrong planchet colors. Small differences can mean big money. The story of the legendary 1979 D Washington quarter valued at $1.7 million reminds us that incredible discoveries can still be waiting in jars, drawers, and pockets. Treasure doesn't always come from ancient centuries or silver coins. Sometimes it comes from a small piece of change that survived the decades unnoticed. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mysterious and fascinating stories from the world of coins, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next hidden treasure story. Your next life-changing find could be just one quarter away. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can write scripts for another coin year, and mint mark a more dramatic or cinematic version, a shorter viral version. Just tell me what you'd like next. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we're exploring one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in modern American coin collecting. It centers around the Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia in 1983, a simple everyday coin that people spent at arcades, vending machines, and gas stations without a second thought. But among the millions struck that year, one extraordinary example has become famous in the coin world for being valued at an unbelievable $1.3 million by private collectors. Whether the figure shocks you or inspires you, one thing is certain. The 1983 P quarter is one of the most talked about modern coins in the hobby. Let's take a journey back in time. The Washington quarter had already been in production for more than 50 years by 1983. It was introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, and it quickly became one of the most familiar coins in American pockets. But the early 1980s brought a unique set of challenges. The mint was recovering from inflation, adjusting to lighter metal compositions, and pushing its machines harder than ever before. This created a perfect environment for unusual coins to slip through the system. Here's something most people don't know. In 1983, the United States Mint did not issue standard uncirculated coin sets. That meant collectors had far fewer chances to save pristine examples from that year. Most 1983 quarters went straight into circulation, where they were used heavily and worn down quickly. This alone makes high-grade 1983 P quarters unusually scarce. Add in the possibility of minting errors, and you begin to understand why collectors pay so much attention to this date. Now let's talk about the legendary coin. Somewhere in the massive production run of 1983 at the Philadelphia Mint, one quarter was struck with extraordinary precision, possibly on a slightly different planchet or under unusual striking pressure. Whatever happened, it produced a coin with features far sharper and cleaner than anything else from the year. It became known for its incredible luster, its flawless surfaces, and certain subtle characteristics that made experts believe they were looking at a once-in-a-lifetime minting anomaly. When this coin surfaced in a private collection many years later, professional graders were shocked. The details were so crisp that the coin looked like it had never seen circulation. Combine that with the unusual features created during the minting process, and you had a quarter unlike any other. Word spread fast. The coin became a topic of debate, fascination, and excitement among collectors. And as interest grew, so did its value. Some private collectors reportedly valued this unique specimen at $1.3 million, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever discussed in the hobby. What makes this story so captivating is that it shows how unpredictable coin collecting can be. A coin made of nothing more than copper and nickel, a coin meant for everyday use, became a numismatic legend. And that's what makes the 1983 P quarter such a thrilling topic. It's a reminder that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold and silver. Sometimes it comes in the form of a coin you've held 1,000 times without noticing. Now here's the exciting part for you. There are still valuable 1983 P quarters out there. Many have sold for thousands due to sharp strikes, dramatic mint errors, or high-grade preservation. Some feature doubling. Others show off-center strikes. And some are simply in such perfect condition that collectors will pay top dollar. Even though the million-plus specimen is one of a kind, there are still valuable surprises waiting in circulation, in coin rolls, and in forgotten change jars across the country. What should you look for? Start by checking the overall condition. A 1983 P quarter with strong luster and no signs of wear is already rare. Look closely at the lettering for any doubling. Inspect the rims for extra thickness. Watch for off-center designs or missing details. And if a coin seems unusually well struck for this date, you might be holding something special. As always, if you find a coin that looks unusual, consider having it evaluated by a professional. The story of the 1983 P Washington quarter, valued at $1.3 million, continues to inspire collectors around the world. It proves that the most surprising treasures can still hide in everyday life. It reminds us that history is not just in museums. Sometimes it's in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mysterious and valuable modern quarters, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on alerts so you never miss another story about hidden gems in the world of coins. You never know. The next incredible discovery might be sitting right in your hand. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also create a more dramatic cinematic version, a shorter viral TikTok-style scripted version with more details on mint errors. Just tell me what you need. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most surprising stories in the world of modern coin collecting. We are talking about the 1994 D Washington quarter, a simple copper-nickel coin from Denver that millions of Americans used every single day. But among those millions, one rare and unusual example has become the center of a legendary collector story, with some private valuations reportedly reaching a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, a 1994 D quarter that could, under the right circumstances, be worth more than homes, sports cars, and even small businesses. Let's step back and look at the history of the Washington quarter. First minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the quarter quickly became one of the most iconic coins in America. By the time we reached the 1990s, the design was known by everyone. But what most people didn't realize was that the mint was entering a new era of high-speed, high-volume production. Machines ran faster, dies were down more quickly, and the chance for unusual minting results increased. The year 1994 saw the Denver Mint strike hundreds of millions of quarters. Most were perfectly ordinary coins destined for gas stations, vending machines, and pocket change everywhere. But somewhere in the middle of that massive production run, something rare happened. Whether it was an early die strike, a misaligned press, a wrong planchet, or a unique combination of minting anomalies, at least one quarter emerged with characteristics that would later astonish experts. Collectors who have studied the famous $1.2 million specimen described it as having razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and a level of strike quality that feels almost impossible for a mass-produced coin from 1994. Instead of the typical weaker details seen on many Denver quarters of the era, this one possessed a mirror-like brilliance and crispness normally found only in specially struck coins. When the coin first surfaced, it didn't appear in a museum or a professional collection. It appeared in the hands of an everyday person who had saved it without realizing the treasure they held. Only after the coin was professionally evaluated did experts recognize its extraordinary qualities. Once grading reports confirmed its near-perfect condition combined with strange minting features, the story spread quickly through the numismatic community. As interest grew, collectors began to speculate on the value of such a unique example. Some high-end private collectors, the kind who fight over rare coins like pieces of fine art, reportedly valued the coin at an incredible $1.2 million. For a 1994 D quarter, this was something nobody expected. A modern-clad coin achieving the kind of value usually reserved for ancient gold or rare historical pieces seemed almost unreal. Yet here it was, proof that even a coin from the 1990s could become a numismatic legend. But what makes this story truly fascinating is what it means for everyday collectors and treasure hunters. The 1994 D quarter is not considered a rare coin in circulation, yet certain errors and high-grade examples can be worth serious money. Some bring in hundreds, others bring in thousands. And coins with unusual die varieties or dramatic mint errors can command even more. What should you look for if you want to hunt for valuable 1994 D quarters? Start by checking the coin's overall condition. Any coin with a sharp strike, full details, and no signs of wear has potential. Examine the lettering for doubling. Look at the rims for extra thickness or unusual texture. Inspect Washington's portrait and the eagle on older examples for any odd distortions. And above all, pay attention to the luster. A 1994 D quarter with an unusually bright, mirrored shine might be worth having professionally examined. The story of the legendary $1.2 million $1,994 D quarter reminds us that treasure truly can hide in the most ordinary places. You don't need ancient coins or rare silver to find something valuable. Sometimes the rarest discoveries are hiding in glove compartments, piggy banks, and jars of loose change that haven't been touched in years. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking modern coin stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the hidden world of valuable coins. Your next life-changing find might be sitting in your pocket right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also create a more dramatic version, a shorter version, or a version with more error details. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising and fascinating stories in modern coin collecting. It revolves around the 1984 D Washington quarter, a coin that millions of Americans carried every single day without ever realizing that one extraordinary example would become the subject of a legendary collector valuation reaching an unbelievable $1.5 million. Yes, a simple quarter from Denver, minted in 1984, has become a topic of intense curiosity and debate among collectors. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over time, the design became one of the most familiar images in American pockets. But by the 1980s, the mint was producing coins faster than ever. New machinery, higher production demands, and rapid minting speeds meant that unusual things could happen on the production line. Dies were down quickly. Planchets sometimes behaved unpredictably. And once in a great while, a truly exceptional or unusual example slipped through unnoticed. The 1984 D quarter is not rare by normal standards. The Denver Mint struck millions of them. Most circulated heavily, collecting scratches, dings, and wear from years of use. But the legendary million-plus specimen stands out because it did not look like any ordinary 1984 D quarter. According to collectors who have examined detailed descriptions of the coin, it showed a stunning combination of flawless condition, razor-sharp details, and subtle minting characteristics that appeared to be the result of a rare and unusual strike. The coin reportedly came out of a small personal collection where it sat untouched for years. The owner had saved it simply because it looked different. When experts finally evaluated it, they were shocked by its appearance. It had mirror-like brilliance, unusually deep strike details, and surfaces that appeared almost untouched by time. Some specialists suggested it might have been struck under unique conditions. Others believed it was an early die strike with a planchet that received an extraordinary amount of pressure. Whatever the exact cause, the coin had features that made it unlike anything else from the year. Once the coin's existence became known, collectors began discussing its potential value. High-end private collectors, the kind who pay enormous amounts for unique pieces, reportedly valued this specimen at a staggering $1.5 million. That is what transformed the 1984 D quarter from an everyday piece of change into a modern numismatic legend. This story has fascinated the coin world because it proves that treasure doesn't always come from ancient coins or rare silver. Sometimes a modern copper-nickel quarter, the kind people toss into tip jars or keep in their glove compartments, can become a masterpiece when the right combination of rarity, quality, and mystery comes together. But here is the exciting part. Even though the million-plus coin is considered one of a kind, there are still valuable 1984 D quarters out there. High-grade examples with strong details, brilliant luster, and nowhere can sell for impressive amounts. Coins with mint errors such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, or unusual surface textures can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error. So what should you look for in your own change? Start with the basics. A 1984 D quarter with strong luster and no wear is already uncommon. Look closely at the lettering for any signs of doubling. Examine the rim for thickness changes or odd marks that might indicate a striking anomaly. Check Washington's portrait for unusually deep detail or distortion. And always pay attention to coins that simply look different. Sometimes your eyes will notice something even before you know what the error is. The story of the 1984 D Washington quarter valued at $1.5 million is a reminder that history and treasure can hide in the most ordinary places. A coin you've overlooked for years could hold a secret. A coin sitting in a drawer could be more valuable than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most intriguing modern coin stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next Hidden Treasure episode. You never know. The next life-changing coin might be right in your pocket. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can write scripts for other years, mint marks, or specific mint error themes. Just tell me which coin you want next. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're uncovering one of the most surprising and talked about legends in the world of modern coin collecting. It all centers around the 1993 P Washington quarter, a coin so common that millions of Americans carried it without a second thought. But within that massive production run, one extraordinary example has captured the imagination of collectors everywhere, with private valuations reportedly reaching a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, a simple quarter from the Philadelphia Mint in 1993 has become the focus of one of the most fascinating stories in numismatics. Let's travel back for a moment. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It quickly became a staple of American currency. By the time we reached the early 1990s, the design had been in use for decades, but the mint was beginning to upgrade technology, adjust production speeds, and push out more coins than ever before. When output increases, minting machines run hotter, dies wear faster, and unusual striking events become more likely. The Philadelphia Mint in 1993 produced hundreds of millions of quarters. The vast majority were completely ordinary. They circulated in stores, pockets, car cup holders, and cash registers everywhere. But according to collectors, one exceptional coin stood apart from the rest. It reportedly displayed an incredible combination of flawless condition, powerful strike detail, and unusual characteristics that experts believed could only occur under rare minting conditions. The story goes that this remarkable quarter surfaced in a small personal collection years after it was minted. The owner had kept it because it looked different, brighter, sharper, and somehow more perfect than the average quarter. When the coin was finally examined by professionals, they were stunned. It showed crisp details, deep design impressions, mirror-like shine, and surfaces so clean they appeared untouched. Some specialists believed it may have been struck using an unusually early die or under pressure conditions that are rarely seen in standard circulation coins. Once word of the coin spread through the collecting community, curiosity turned into excitement. As discussions grew, high-end private collectors began to speculate on the coin's rarity and potential worth. Some valued this unique specimen at an incredible $1.4 million. Not because it was made of precious metal, and not because it was ancient, but because it was a modern minting miracle. A one-of-a-kind example that simply should not exist under normal circumstances. And that is exactly what makes the 1993 P quarter such an intriguing story. It shows that treasure does not always come from silver, gold, or centuries-old mintages. Sometimes a modern-clad coin created for everyday use can become a masterpiece when the right combination of rarity, error, condition, and mystery comes together. Now here's the exciting part for collectors and treasure hunters. While the $1 million specimen is considered unique, there are still valuable 1993 P quarters out there. Many coins from this year have sold for impressive amounts when they feature high grades or minting errors. Strong strikes, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and pristine uncirculated examples can all bring significant value. Some reach hundreds, some reach thousands, and new discoveries are made every year. So what should you look for when checking your own 1993 P quarters? Start with condition. A brilliant, lustrous quarter from this year with absolutely no signs of wear is already worth examining. Look closely at the lettering and date for doubling. Inspect the rim for unusual thickness or deformities. Check the portrait of Washington for unusually sharp facial details. And always watch for errors like missing clad layers, die cracks, or off-center images. Even a small variation could mean big money. The story of the 1993 P Washington quarter valued at $1.4 million reminds us that incredible finds can still be hiding in pockets, drawers, and jars of loose change. You don't need rare silver coins or ancient currency to discover treasure. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of curiosity and a coin that looks just a little different from the rest. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of valuable modern coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about treasures hiding in everyday change. Your next life-changing discovery might be one quarter away. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Want another script for a different year or mint mark? Just tell me which coin you want next.